Honolulu's top prosecutor Steve Alm is here with me to talk about the Safe and Sound Waikiki program. Prosecutor Alm, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
Happy to be here, Bridget.
Safe and Sound was started back in October, right, to help clean up Waikiki, arguably a visitor's paradise, but with recent high-profile crimes, a deadly beating, a police barricade, the main question people want to know is the program working?
Well, it is working. HPD, I think, in the short time that we've been operating, has made 350 arrests. We're prosecuting the cases when they come into court. There have been some horrendous cases. Neither one was random, which means they could have happened anywhere if the victims, were targeted, or somebody in a barricade situation like that. He may have been wanting to have the police end his life for him. But from a day-to-day standpoint, it's really who you talk to. Some people say it's the same. Others have said it's worse. Others have said it's better. But people can be rest assured people are being held accountable. They're being prosecuted. One of the things we're trying to do is identify the folks that are habitual thieves that go into ABC stores, go into 7-Eleven every day to steal things. Well, the ones that are most active, we're charging now with a felony, a habitual property offender, for a series of essentially petty misdemeanor cases, but because they just don't quit. What that means is a mandatory year in jail, and if we think they have a drug or alcohol problem, that may be part of the mix too.
Got it. This is a good segue because I was looking at the numbers within the last month alone. Just to look at the crime map, right, shows at least 28 assault cases were opened up in Waikiki just within the last month. Over 10 burglaries, as you had mentioned, at least 20 motor vehicle thefts, at least 8 sex crimes. When you hear this said out loud, it sounds like a lot, but these amount of cases, is that normal? Right.
As the police have said, the crime is about the same as it was pre-COVID in Waikiki. I think the serious assaults are up a little bit. One of the reasons for that is the legislature did something really good 2 sessions ago, where if somebody assaults somebody who's 60 years and older, whatever the level of damage, it becomes a felony. So we're charging 40, 50, 60 of those a year that would have been a misdemeanor before, but now are felonies. I think a lot of viewers would have seen that story about that woman walking in front of Wong's Drapery, and this guy comes on the sidewalk and hits her with his forearm, knocking her into the street.
How can we forget? It's awful.
That would have been a misdemeanor, but because of the law change, it's now a felony because she was 60 years or over. So we're trying to use whatever's out there to do this. We ask the public to be patient. The reason Waikiki was picked for Safe and Sound is it's a challenging area. You have thousands of residents, you have thousands of visitors, you have military, local young guys. You're going to have some problems there. That's always been the case. The task for HPD and us is to try to drive the crime down as much as possible. Residents help us. They report things. Businesses have surveillance footage. That is really helpful to prove cases. So the beauty of Safe and Sound is it's not going to go away anytime soon. We're going to keep at it month after month, year after year. We will get crime driven down there.
Of all of the cases that your office is assigned to under the Safe and Sound program, how many are actually taken to court?
Well, most of them are arrested. Most of them are for misdemeanors or petty misdemeanors. And they if they can't make bail, they spend a night at HPD. They go to court the next day. One of our concerns is not enough are being placed on probation, which means not enough are getting geographic restrictions to stay out of the site. And we have concerns about felony probation, that the judiciary is not monitoring those people as closely as they used to when I was a judge. And we have about 3 times as many people on felony probation as in state prison. So it's really important to get probation right. And right now, it's really not being done well. So we're working with the judiciary. We're trying to encourage them. Let's watch this closer, because that will prevent future crimes.
And finally, what is your message to those committing these crimes? Getting arrested and charged and fined, obviously not something anyone aspires to.
Right, but the chances of them getting arrested and prosecuted is increasing. And when we work with HPD, whether it's Safe and Sound Waikiki, whether it's Weed and Seed, it leads to closer cooperation. And the people that are the most active as criminals, we're trying to make sure they get held accountable and either go to prison or go to treatment to change their lives.
Well, I hope these answers help ease some minds tonight.
I hope so. I just ask people to be patient. This is an ongoing process. Rome wasn't built in a day, nor was Waikiki improved in a day. So working together, I'm confident we can make it safer, we can make it better.
Prosecutor Alm, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me.
I'm sending it back to you.